Hey everyone, I'm once again here with Nick the Trainer Dude. So we are now 1 month in, just over, for this 90-day fitness challenge that him and I are doing. It's kind of grown into this whole extra thing, which has been kind of fascinating to see, at least at work. But if you guys saw the first video that I did in this series, basically we're going to be taking 90 days where Nick is going to be coaching me. I'm still doing all the working out, all the exercising, all the eating on my own. He's just developing a plan, giving me some guidelines to stick to, and just helping me take all the guesswork out of the situation. He's got the mastermind behind it. He's been a personal trainer for longer than probably many of you watching this video have been alive. He's just using his expertise to tailor a lifestyle for me, again, for a total of 90 days, possibly into the future after that. But this is kind of our first check-in for video. He's obviously been checking in with me several times throughout this first month. But in 1 month, we have gone up in muscle about almost 2 pounds of muscle, and we're down in weight about what is that, 16 pounds?
16 pounds, yep.
Or sorry, that's down in weight, but down in fat even more, obviously, if we're going up in muscle about 2 pounds. So I would say that those are pretty good numbers for our first 30 days.
Really good numbers. So basically, Ryan, he started around 250 pounds. He's weighing in at 234 pounds right now. Muscle mass, again, went up. Body fat percentage went down, and overall fat mass went down. And that's the big thing we want to focus on with Ryan and most people that are trying to lose body fat is we don't want to just lose weight. We want to change the body composition. So too often we get caught up in like making sure the scale's dropping, which the scale should drop. If you're bigger and you're heavy, we don't need to weigh that, but we want to make sure that we're losing the right kind of weight. So again, he's dropped about 17 pounds of fat mass, gained 2 pounds of muscle, but his body fat went from 26.7% down to 21%. So it's really good. A couple weeks ago, we did a scan, and it showed that we had lost a little bit of that muscle, still lost some fat. So what we did is some of the changes we made over the last couple weeks or week and a half was we fed you a lot more food.
Yeah.
So the big thing in paying attention to how the body's responding is we started out with a certain amount of calories, a certain amount of macros, protein, fats, and carbs, and then we fed that. We watched his body change. It plateaued. Then we did another change. It didn't work, so then we implemented a lot more food. We got a refeed day. We had a big steak, had some baked potatoes.
It was a pretty nice day.
We ate a little bit of extra calories in that time, and over the last 8 days he's actually only lost 1 pound of scale weight, but we saw a little muscle mass come back on, and we still dropped another 2% body fat while only losing 1 pound of actual weight. So now the weight loss is going to get slower, like we saw 15 pounds in the first 30 days, but really maybe 37 days, somewhere right in there. Really, we're only looking at him losing about 6 pounds of scale weight per month. Maybe 6 to 8. We don't want to lose a whole bunch of weight quickly. We want to make sure that the weight we're losing is fat. So I'm going to be constantly monitoring the amount of food he's eating, the type of cardio he's doing, what type of strength training he's doing to make sure that we're losing actual fat mass, not just weight loss. Because again, we are in for the 90 days, but the reality is for any of you watching or anybody looking to make some changes in your fitness life or overall fitness goals, it should be a longevity of what are we doing in the 90 days, but what are we doing in the next year?
Yeah.
And the next year after. Ryan's a young man, all right, mid-30s.
Yeah.
He's a young man, all right? And the reality is we need to get Ryan to a point to where he's probably about 20 pounds over his lean mass, which right now his lean body mass is 185.6 pounds. So that puts Ryan all the way down to 205. Scary a little bit. He might feel a little frail or the idea of that, but the reality is
Haven't been there in a long time.
we want to live in a place where we're 20 to 25 pounds of fat on our body, right? And right now we're still sitting at 49 pounds of fat. So as we get closer, and most men that are watching this, that's where you should be sitting to be and living in a healthy place just for overall life, is 20 to 25 pounds of body fat on your body as you go through your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and as you age. We want to make sure that we're maintaining that. So we got to do the work to get there, and then we got to do the work to maintain it.
Yeah, and I think he touched on a lot of really important things there, in my opinion. So first of all, it's more than just losing the scale weight. Obviously, the scale at home can tell you something, that is a number that you can reference, but it's hard to know where that weight is coming off. And especially right now, I was just telling him the other day with the World Series just finishing up, I was actually watching television for the first time in a long time. I don't typically watch TV. So I was seeing ads for all of these weight loss drugs and all of that. And that, you're definitely going to see the scale weight go down, but it's not in a healthy body composition.
No.
Especially he's seen that on his client side.
Yeah, we see that over the last 4 or 5 years with all the different, just medication and drugs that are out there to help people lose weight. There's a certain population that does need to have some sort of medication to help them lose weight. But doing this job for the last 20 years, I've watched thousands of humans, men, women, old, young, really big, lose a lot of weight through just effort, hard work, consistency in eating, changing up your lifestyle. Most of the drugs and the different stuff that's out there are really just allowing you to live the same way. So you can still eat like crap, you can still drink, you don't have to exercise, and you're going to lose weight. But in that, you're going to lose a lot of muscle mass, and you're still going to have bad habits of eating. You're going to have bad habits of still drinking too much. So when you stop taking those medications or those drugs, because you're not going to be on them forever, there's just we don't even know the long-term side effects of that, is what actually is happening as we move forward. So making sure that we're giving Ryan the right tools. He knows how to exercise. He knows kind of how to eat good. What I'm teaching him is, how do we do this for the longevity? How do we still just eat 3 or 4 healthy meals a day, but every once in a while go enjoy a steak?
Yeah.
And how do we go enjoy a dinner or have a drink with your wife on a random Friday night where you just want to relax? All those things are still in the cards, but staying consistent in your regimen day to day is what's going to make the longevity of him staying fit. His mental health is going to be stronger. A lot of things are going to come out of that.
Yeah. So while the way that I'm doing it may take a lot more hard work and dedication and some discipline,
Yeah,
lots of discipline. At the end of this, I'm going to be in a far healthier place than if I were to try to take a shortcut like some of these weight loss drugs out there, at least in my opinion.
Yep.
Looking at it from the outside. The other thing, one of the things that can be really intimidating if you're not familiar with this world is when people are talking macros and how many grams of this, how many grams of that. One of the things that's nice about working with a coach like Nick is, again, he's taking all that guesswork out. Instead of him telling me, hey, here's the numbers you have to hit, and then I got to go figure out, okay, how many grams of carbs are in a cup of yogurt or 5 ounces of chicken. He's just telling me, hey, eat this much of this, eat this much of this, eat this much of this at each meal. And then, so it's taken all the guesswork out. I'm hitting the numbers he knows that I need to hit. If I'm not eating all of the food I need to in there, I can tell him that, and then he can accommodate things accordingly. But again, beyond just being able to read a scale at home, especially with the first week, 2 weeks, weight was falling off pretty fast just because I wasn't drinking alcohol at all, and I was just eating clean. But at a certain point, that's going to plateau, as we kind of already have gotten to. And if I was left to my own devices, it's like, okay, well then I don't know. I guess that's all I have to lose. So having someone who can look at it, tweak those little knobs and buttons as necessary to get to that end result that we want to get to, or at least the intermediary result, because this will hopefully be a lifelong, change in lifestyle. Maybe with some extra moderation in there, so I can maybe enjoy some peanut butter cups every now and then. Maybe. My wife was rubbing some in my face last night, so that was fun. But again, the ultimate end goal here is that I'm going to be in a healthier, far more disciplined lifestyle that will ultimately set me up for success and allow me to live a long and fruitful life.
Absolutely. And just to end on that note, the biggest thing about having a good coach in your fitness life is really just someone on the outside understanding what and when to change, when we need to change something, right? So I have a lot of clients come in. Some of them are only eating 1 or 2 times a day, so we don't just throw them on a 5 or 6 meal plan that first day, right? We might have 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We might have a month with only eating 3 times a day. Still not enough food. My job is to assess the person, figure out what they're currently doing, and then what we need to do to make those changes as we progress. We put Ryan on a pretty low calorie amount for the first month because I knew that he was eating so much. I wanted his mind to understand that we could lose some weight. So it was a psychological thing that I needed him to be confident enough that we're going to come in and see some changes, because when you cut out a bunch of sugar out of your life, alcohol, all the crap, your brain is questioning everything you're doing. Why am I doing this, right? And so there's a psychological part to having a good coach, to making sure we're making those changes. I knew when his body was going to plateau, and I knew when it wasn't going to change, and he was going to be like, what am I doing wrong? We changed up a few things, and we keep moving forward. So making sure that you have someone in your corner that's going to make sure those things happen is super important, and there's a big value to that.
Absolutely. So on that note, perfect transition. If people want to reach out to you for help, like I'm getting here, what is the best way for them to do that?
The best way is always just to reach out me through Instagram. It's probably where I get most of my questions about fitness, and so just look up Nick the Trainer Dude. I'm the one and only. There's no other Nick the Trainer Dudes out there. But you can DM me, send me a message. I'd love to set up a free consult with you for 10 to 15 minutes, answer any questions you might have, and explain to you what the process is working with me over a 90-day time period, a 6-month time period, or even up to a year. So reach out to me, Nick the Trainer Dude, send me a DM. I'd love to set up a time to chat with you.
Yeah, and you don't have to be local here in Lane County. You can do it from anywhere. There's even a point, well, there will be a point here in about in the next month where I'm on the road. There's been times he's been on the road, so we've been able to just chat in remotely. I give him my numbers, I send him a picture, he goes through all the numbers, asks me some questions, figures out what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, and then is able to tailor things just to help guide me to a successful outcome. So
absolutely,
super easy thing to do, again, even if you're not physically in the local area. So I'll have the links down in the description down below for that. Anything else you want to add?
The last couple things, just moving into this next month, just so you guys kind of understand, as we started with the basic cardio, a base of food, and some basic strength training, we're going to add to the cardio a little bit, maybe 5 to 10 minutes a day. I'll make those adjustments as I really assess his numbers. And then we're really going to get heavy on a carb cycle. So we've gotten a good base of food. So we're going to start moving carbohydrates around. We're still going to eat protein. We're still going to have some fats. We're really going to figure out how does Ryan's body respond to the different amounts of cardio based on days where he's resting, days where he's exercising, days where he's traveling. What do those really look like? And that's, again, my job. So Ryan doesn't have to think about anything. He just needs to know for the next 3 or 4 days, this is the amount of food and what types of foods he gets to eat. He just got to go follow the plan. It's my job to make the adjustments. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. I hope you get a little bit out of this video. Again, if you need to reach out to me, that's Nick the Trainer Dude on Instagram. And I look forward to watching the rest of your results happen.
Yeah, I can already say a lot of people at work have noticed. A lot of people have given me some pretty flattering comments. So hopefully that trend will only continue. But if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, throw those in the comment section down below. But with all that being said, as always, I hope you got something out of this video, and I really appreciate you watching.
Boom.
All right.